Welcome to Take 5 with Pet Tutor. Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Jennifer Katay, and we are here to talk about a blog she has written recently, and it's a little bit of a tough subject. It's controversial in really the entire pet world or dog world, and it's about shock collars. And there was a new study, and Jennifer has written a blog about it. And tell us a little bit about how you were inspired to pick this difficult subject, and thank you for shining some light on it. We do appreciate it.
I come from a scientific background. Now, I was a dog trainer and a scientist from the very beginning, and I like facts. I like to know what I'm using in terms of tools, and I think all of us as trainers, we have certain tools that we prefer using over others. But it's important to know what the impact of these tools are on the animal and what the efficiency of the tools are, so that we can better pick and choose what we want to do. And so it is controversial because some people have very strong feelings about it. But I think that it's important to step back and look at data, and from there decide whether this is a good thing to apply or whether there are other options that might be better to choose. I really like this study. They spend tremendous effort into trying to be as objective as possible, picking people who used a shock collar that were professionals at it, experts even at it. They spend a lot of resources and money into trying to be as objective as possible. And what it showed, it couldn't be as a surprise to us that anytime you use punishment on an animal, you're increasing the stress level. If I was to hang around you and every time you did something I said, "Oh no, bad Amanda," even if you don't feel physical pain,
right,
your stress level would go up.
Right.
And so there are different levels of stimulation of the shock collar, and you can use even the levels that are the least harmful. It is still a stressor, and it is meant to be a stressor, and it has to be a stressor to be effective, because the ultimate goal of the shock collar is to stop a behavior, to interrupt a behavior. The study demonstrated that once the dog had been experiencing that, the second time you fitted the collar on them, their cortisol levels did go up. So they've shown very clearly that the instrument itself generated stress.
Wow. Would you say that both methods work, but why use the punishment or the shock to achieve it if you can use force-free or positive reinforcement?
That's right. I think it's up to each one of us, and our own ethics, to decide what do we want to teach the animal. What are we willing to do to make an animal do what we have decided that we wanted them to do? If there are methods that work just as well to teach an animal to come when called, for instance, or stop barking at something, and they lower the amount of stress and they help the animal feel better, feel safer, why not use those methods? If you look long term, the effects on the dogs are very different. And my choice as a trainer and as a person are to select those tools that are going to increase the dog's well-being, not just my own, and that are going to help the behavior long term, not just short term. We all get desensitized to a lot of things, and that's one of them. When our goal is to get a dog to do something, and we feel that it's critical that dog absolutely does XYZ behavior, maybe for its own good even, if that's a way to get to it, we're likely to use that. And we may not like it initially, but as we see results and we do it more and more, we get desensitized and we get accustomed to it. But one of the biggest problems I have with the availability of the shock collars is that it's not just a tool that is meant for professional trainers. It is available to everybody. So people who have very, very little notions of dog training and behavior can just go to a pet store, buy one of these collars, and put it on the dog, believing that that's going to cure their dog's issue. And that's when the biggest problems happen. When the study has shown that they very often do not read even just the manual, the user manual. And so they're putting the collar on and just using the collar with very little understanding of how to use it. The other thing is most people don't have good notions of dog psychology. So when you couple the misuse of the collar and little understanding of dog psychology together, that could really turn into abuse for the animal.
Well, I hope you'll write more about this. I know that there are a lot of people that chimed in on the comments, and I have a feeling that they would welcome the opportunity to hear more about it. So I hope you'll write more. What are we going to hear about in your next blog?
I want to talk about how punishment affects not just the dog, but also the person who's inflicting the punishment. So it's kind of in line with what we just talked about. A follow-up,
that's right. Okay,
yes.
Great. All right, thanks so much, and thanks for joining Take 5 with Pet Tutor. Bye-bye.